Well. Hey guys, it's Josh Reviews. There we go. He's all better. So, Halloween is literally it is literally coming close as we speak. So I think it's important that we cover a movie that I have covered already on this channel, but I feel like now is kind of the perfect opportunity for me to go more in depth and also talk more about what I like about it. That film, of course, being Hell House LLC. This movie, okay, if you haven't heard of this movie is so underrated in my opinion. It is such a good found footage horror movie, and already, you know it, I like this movie. If you've seen my previous review back in, like, what was it, 2019? It's been a while. Has it been 5 years? Oh my God, I think it has. Okay, so yeah. Hell House LLC. This film is a found footage movie, and trust me, if you don't like found footage movies, just bear with me. It is a movie about a bunch of haunted house business group that basically find this abandoned hotel called the Abaddon Hotel, and they purchase it and use it for their haunt this year called Hell House. And we are following this investigative documentary crew as they tell the tale. You know, they're telling the story of what happened during opening night of Hell House, and it takes the form of like a mockumentary, and we get to see through the found footage angle what happened to the crew, you know, leading up to opening night, as well as opening night and what happened that night. And let me just start off right off the bat. If you are a big, like, haunted house Halloween movie kind of, I don't really know what that's like a thing, but if you like movies like Haunt and Hellfest, you need to check this movie out. This movie is a must for Halloween. I promise you, and it's not too late to watch it. This movie, I think you can watch on YouTube, and I think you can also watch it on Amazon Prime if you have that. This movie is so fucking good. Let me just state that again. It is so good. What I like about this movie is it feels genuine. Everything in this movie feels genuine. I mean, there is a scene in this movie where they're talking about the history of the Abaddon Hotel and the murders that took place in the hotel, because that's the main angle. There's a lot of mystery surrounding the hotel and why it got closed down. And they find a photograph of one of the previous owners, or I think one of the owner or guests or whatever, and the photo, it is haunting. It is a haunting image of the guy hanging himself, and I get chills anytime I think about it. The way this movie builds up suspense is fucking amazing. It's amazing. It's so incredibly well done. I love the way the movie, like, takes its time with its scare. If you, like, the guy holding the camera will pass by a hallway, and you'll see like a dark figure, but you're thinking, oh, okay, that was just a shadow or whatever. That was just like some furniture, right? But then the movie will rewind the footage, and it'll be like, nope, that's a ghost. And I'm like, whew, that's really good. I like the way you did that. The way they handle certain scenes too. Like, there's a lot of, like, I love how the first half of this movie builds up the mystery of, like, what is going on in Hell House? What happened that night? And I love how the film slowly but surely shows you what happened leading up to that night. Specifically, the mystery in the basement and the clown statue. They never specify, like, what it is that's going on about the statue or the basement, but you just know something's off when they head down those stairs into the basement. You just get the feeling something is wrong, and the way the characters react to the situations, they feel genuine and real. The actors do a really good job of portraying, you know, the fear and anxiety of being in that situation. The one character, I think his name is Paul or Mike, one of the other, might be Paul. Paul's reaction feels genuine. When he first sees the clown moving, he thinks, oh, it's a joke. But then when he quickly realizes that, oh, you know, none of my other buddies were in the same room. It can't be them pranking me. He freaks out and he wants to go. Now, I'm not a big fan of his character. His character is kind of perverted, but I mean, in all seriousness, it's not really something that like I hate his character. It's just like, okay, you didn't have to make him kind of a sleazy pervert, whatever. Like but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, he's always talking about, when's he gonna get with a girl? When's he gonna get with a girl? He's always recording the women, making them feel uncomfortable. I do like the explanation that they give that they're filming for like, some background, like, they're filming behind the scenes so they can kind of know ahead of time next year what they want to change. That seems like a logistic, like realistic thing and why they would record everything. Especially sometimes like they're just messing around the haunt, and the interaction the characters have between each other feels genuine and authentic and so good. The characters, man, they feel so real. They feel like real people. And that's something I love about found footage movies that I think really gets swept under the rug, is that it is so hard to write good dialogue in movies. I struggle with it when I write some of my short films. And what I love about found footage is that sometimes there's a lot of room for improv. And a lot of that improv comes across as realistic, in my opinion. And I think the way it's handled in this film, they do a really, really good job with that. I just love the way the characters just like, they're portrayed and the way they act around one another. They feel like they are a group of friends who just, are trying to put together this haunt for Halloween. And the way they just interact off each other just feels so natural. And it's refreshing to see characters that you actually somewhat give a shit about, even if like they're not the most well-developed. It's like, I don't need them to be complex. I don't need them to have like interesting, backstories or whatever. They just need to feel real or likable. Something to at least be engaging enough for me to give a shit about. And in my opinion, they did that perfectly. Like, sure, maybe Paul is a little too perverted for my liking. Like, I don't really, that I don't need that in a movie. I don't know why filmmakers think, hey, he should be perverted. But in the context of the movie, I guess I can understand why. And not only that, there are people out there who are, perverted, but, because of the friends in the group, they're like, hey, he's harmless. He's just kind of like that, I don't know if there's a way to word that right, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we've all said things in like our friend group that one of the would be like, anyone outside the friend group would go, that was a little raunchy. I don't know if you should have said that, but it's like, oh no, that's just how he acts. Like, oh, okay, so I guess that's kind of what they were going for, but it doesn't matter. And also, something that I really love about this movie, on top of everything else, this movie's actually scary. Yeah, no, this movie's horrifying. There are scenes in this film that are genuinely terrifying. Anytime you see the clown statue, which we learn the name of later as the film series progresses, because this is a film series, they do a really good job portraying him, how he doesn't move. He's just still. He's just a mannequin. But the way he just, like the camera will turn and he's looking one way, but then when they turn back, he's looking, another way, and you're like, oh shit. And the way he looks under the creepy Halloween, lights, the haunt and the hallways, it's just so well done. The way like the photos showcase the basement when someone is describing heading down the basement, it's just like, I wouldn't want to be there. And then leading up to what happened that Halloween night, to what the Hell House murders, it's like, ooh, man. Just thinking about it's kind of getting me creeped out. It's genuinely well done, and how they build up the scares in this movie. I want to make sure I drive home that point that, yeah, this movie's pretty fucking freaky. So I have some nitpicks. I think there are some parts where they add a little too many glitch effects, but trust me, it's not nearly as bad as the sequels. It is not nearly as bad as the sequels. The static and glitch effects, man, it's really bad in the sequels. I just recently rewatched them. Oh boy. Yeah. So besides maybe a few that, and maybe someone finding the movie a little rinse and repeat once in a while, because sometimes they do kind of rinse and repeat. Not the same scares, but the setup if that makes sense. Besides that, I don't really have any other issues with this movie. Those are more nitpicks than anything. This movie captures that Halloween feel I'm looking for, and the way it portrays the mockumentary style. It gets a little, like supernatural towards the end, and some people may either like that or dislike it. The director's cut just blatantly shows you this is like something that's just like, oh, so that's what's going on. Okay. But I love the ambiguity of this movie and how it chooses to set up the scares. And with the characters being realistic and feeling natural, it just works so well. I love this movie, and I watch it every Halloween, and I recommend you do too. So with that being said, I'm going to give this movie an A+. You should go check it out. So after rewatching the second and third movie, I decided, why not watch the fourth movie? Everyone says it's really good. Even better than the first. Because I've already reviewed the second and third one, and I don't feel like reviewing those movies, I'm going to review the fourth one, so stay tuned.